Hey folks, it's Price is Wrong. This is the Battle Pirates Roundtable. We're representing Battle Vortex. That's bp.battlevortex.tv for our group page on Facebook. Today, obviously, we're going to be talking about Battle Pirates, and I don't really have a whole heck of a lot of topics to discuss. I thought we would definitely try going over at the very least. The raid tips. I know Tito got to include them in his show last night on his Latino show, and of course I couldn't understand a word he said, so maybe we'll get him to translate some today. But I did some of my own slides, and just just a quick review. We're not doing another show until the raid actually starts on Thursday, so we'll try to review robots tips a bit, and then maybe add to that a little bit if we can. I guess I'll start off. I'm Price is Wrong. Just going down the road here. I know we got Big Ben on here, and he didn't make it Thursday's show, but he's here today. So I know he missed his fans. I know his fans missed him, so we're glad to have him back on here today. Matthew, Matthew, what's your game name? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Deacon.
Go ahead.
From Sector 253. Been playing for a couple of years now.
Awesome. What level are you?
74.
74. Are you a big coiner, a filthy coiner? What did Nash call us? He called us like sharks, whales, and minnows. Which one of those would you be?
Very low to moderate corner.
Okay, so a big minnow.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. I know Liam I got next on my list over here, and I know he's a filthy coiner.
No.
Yeah, he is. Don't let him tell you different. And then
converted.
What's that, Taipan?
He's been converted.
Well, Taipan, I don't know if you're not really a filthy coiner. I think you're probably like me. You might even spend a little bit more than me. That's because I've been a really big tightwad here lately. But
of late, I've been spending a bit more. I wanted to get a couple of things. So I'm not a constant coiner. I'll go through stages where I won't spend anything, and when I think I need to spend stuff, I may lash out a little bit. But otherwise, I'd put myself in the shark category.
Gotcha. Well, Tito, I see Tito's on here next. Carpe Diem.
Hi, everybody.
And for those that don't know, he actually he started doing a Latino show. So for you guys that speak Spanish, I know from what I understand, a lot of the Spanish community is pretty well integrated into the English-speaking community. And but we actually have a Latino page now, and that is bpl.battlevortex.tv for that group page. And then of course the Latino show, that's Friday nights. Tito, no, it's Friday nights, and what's the time? That's
7 p.m. Pacific time zone.
Oh, that's Kickside time.
Exactly.
We started doing Pacific time, everybody, because quite honestly, it's Kickside time, and with all of us actually doing hosting, like with roundtables and such, and just communicating different, we're going to try to get some consistency as far as with the time zones. So we're going to, from now on, we're going to be using Kickside time for everything. And Kickside time, just so everybody knows, that's 8 hours shy of Greenwich Mean Time. I know we have a lot of audience in the UK, so whatever that is, add 8 hours to it, and that should be your time if you're at Greenwich Mean Time. And next we have 101. How's it going, 101?
Good. Glad to be here. First time out.
That was good to have you. Good to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm in Sector 343. I'm heading up a page there called Battle Pirates Sector 343, trying to get out as much information to our sector as possible. I'm in a Skulls Alliance.
Okay. Well, hopefully you have your guys visit us a lot on at the Battle Vortex page.
I do myself. I think a few of my other guys, my alliance leader, I believe, watches your page there as well.
What level are you? What level player?
I believe I am 71, about to hit 72.
Are you a filthy coiner?
I am at the time a minnow. I used to be a shark, but I'm a minnow right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm transitioning to a minnow. I don't know. I'd like to think I'm a whale, man. I mean, I used to give them like $100 a month, and to me that's a crap ton of money. But I know guys that do 2 or 3 times that each week. So
Yeah, well,
if not more, 10 times even.
I had Kicks give me 100 coin for that little drop that they did on us a little while back ago, and I still got that 100 coin. That's how little I coin nowadays.
Yeah, that's you play like I do. Then it sounds like you spend just like I do. Well, all right. I guess getting right into it. For you guys over in the chat, I see we got quite a few people over there. It looks like I got 35 watchers. If you look in the description, there is a link right now for the Hangout. So if you have a Google Plus account and you got yourself a headset with a microphone, we kind of prefer that just for feedback issues. Okay, that way we don't have to deal with a whole lot of background noise. But feel free to join us. You can come on and chat with us. We can host up to 10 people. Right now we have 7, so we got 3 open spots currently, and they do tend to fill up pretty fast. So if you don't see the Hangout link in the description, then you might want to refresh the video real quick and refresh the YouTube screen real quick. I did post it in the event page as well. So, but anyway, I guess maybe I should just go ahead and get right into it. And I'll just start sharing my slides with the tips. So let me get that set up real fast. All right. Apologize. I should have had this a little bit further along than I do, but here we go. All right. Well, I guess the first thing, I know Robot, he made a post on the forums, and, I kind of got this idea from Tito. He did it on his show last night. I didn't get to talk about the Reaver tips on Thursday because they didn't come out until yesterday. But fortunately, Tito was able to include that on his Latino show last night. And so I kind of, and doing the same thing, I made my sheet a little bit different. I was just trying to get all my boats on one sheet, so on one slide. So basically, we know that there's going to be like 5 different Reaver ships that we're going to have to deal with. The ones that we're used to are the Scouts, the Hulks, and the Hades. The Sapper, I believe, didn't the Sapper come out last month? Wasn't that out already? That was out in December, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was the one that got the flamethrowers, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And the Hellhound just came out. Well, the Hellhound's going to be the new prize. Also, that's also the blueprint that we're going to be fighting to get, hopefully. And so that's actually going to be a target as well. Just starting at the little boats. I know there's going to be a couple of different versions of the Scouts. There's going to be, I know there's going to be an elite and there's going to be a command Scout. So there's the standard Reaver Scout, which is what we're seeing right here. Then there's going to the elite counterparts. I don't know what any of the builds look like, but I know the elites are supposed to be slightly upgraded, and the commands are going to have tactical fields as well. But but we'll just go ahead and go through the basics right now. I know the standard Reaver Scout, it says moderate damage and radioactive damage. But my experience with Scouts is that they're really freaking fast, and a lot of them tend to have some kind of a depth charge on them, right? I mean, when they run you over, you're pretty much dead, But this one here is supposed to go really fast in straight lines, and apparently the turns on these ones are supposed to be really poor. I know I've seen Scouts in the fast turn on a dime, but apparently that's not going to be the case this time. Penetrative damage is what they're recommending. That's the vulnerability. Being that you're going for range, when you look down at the tips, I didn't really use a whole heck of a lot of the tips. I kind of made them my own with the tips that Robot put on the forums. So obviously, I'd recommend Hornet UAVs. I mean, just because of the range, you don't have to have a whole lot of specials for those to get that 97 range of the Hornet UAVs. Anything you can do to slow the boats down would be a good thing. We have the assault disruptor as an option, and we have the engine disruptor modules that can be loaded up on the Arbiters, Hurricanes, or Vanguards. And,
also, if you're running Harlock with UAVs, then you're going to get that stun there as well, aren't you? To give them a bit of a slowdown.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of and even the like Savage Kodiaks, right? They have the pinch missile option.
Oh
So
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, there's a few different things that have the random launch overrides that.
So probably run a combo with like a Frostburn with some Harlocks or that, so have the Frostburn in there to slow down the Rovers.
Oh yeah. Your Frostburn will work because it's got that charge, right? So there's a lot of different options you can use for slowing those boats down as they're coming in. It doesn't mention on the tips page anything about torpedoes. So I know a lot of these boats tend to have some kind of torpedoes on them as well. And
The Reaver hulks usually have torpedoes on them, don't they? They fire out torpedoes.
No,
Yes,
if you
with
read,
obscenely
if you read
long range
later,
too.
Yep.
if you read later, you will read that all those boats, or basically most of them, they have deep charges, and in a special new type. And as closer as you get to the ship, the more damage you will get.
yeah. Yeah, well, and I know a lot of them tend to have rockets and stuff on them too. Now, this one right here, there's no mention of any kind of splash weapons on the Scout. So, it seems to me mostly that if you have a really high evade fleet, me personally, I'm actually looking forward to using my Nash's Lightning Carriers to try to get out some of these Scouts because it has the Nash's Lightning Carrier does have it has ballistic bonuses on there too for range and reload. And I have assault disruptors on that. So between that and the Hornet UAVs that I have on my Nashes, I'm kind of hoping it'll be a really good fleet for these. But we'll see. Next, we have the Reaver Hulk. The Reaver Hulk is supposed to be I mean, we're familiar with these. Are really not very fast, or tend not to be fast. They can be really fast in the dredges, right? But apparently, during the event version of the Hulk is not going to be smoking fast. But they're going to be equipped with the flamethrowers and mortars. So basically, if you have a really fast fleet, the mortars shouldn't be a problem, and you want to have long range so that hopefully the flamethrowers won't be a problem. I don't know what the flamethrower range is going to be. I don't know if anybody used nuke cruisers against the flamethrowers last event. I don't know if you were able to outrange them or not. Is anybody on the panel here familiar with that?
I never used the launchers versus the Elite campaign.
I think I used Harlocks, and they were ranging me just as literally just after I was ranging them. So I would reckon their range must be somewhere above the 90 mark. So
okay, so I guess just speed
guess,
then.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Sounds like you're just going to want to be fast. So it sounds to me like, if you have like some V2Cs or V2Hs with a Frostburn might be really good, but I guess we'll see.
I know I used the Frostburn during the last raid and it didn't work. I guess I need to pair it with different ships, but it didn't work like I had hoped against the fast movers.
Well, I know also when the event comes live, and we're going to have the Elite campaign, we're going to be doing a lot of fleet versus fleet. Obviously, we're not going to have one fleet that's going to fit the bill for everything. So, I would think that when the event goes live, I mean, we'll see. I know I'll be doing some streaming on my Twitch stream. And for folks that don't know, that's twitch.tv/price_is_wrong is my Twitch stream. And if you're looking at my channel right now, I mean, I've got a lot of Twitch streams on there already, and they all have links to my Twitch stream in there. But so hopefully, I'm kind of really hoping that we'll be able to pick these things apart and just retreat and then go back in with another fleet, and we'll be able to do this thing in phases. I know there's going to be like the super coiners are going to be trying to one fleet these things, and I'm sure some of them can. Me, I've never built berserkers. My shipyard's always busy, and quite honestly, I just can't afford it. I'm sorry to have every fleet there is. So I'm gonna have to make do with what I got.
I think going in and out, and surgically plucking them apart is going to be going to be the way to go. It's just whether the only issue is going to be, I guess, and we'll see when the raid goes live, is whether you can get in and out, sufficiently to pluck them off. But
it would have been nice to have a preview server. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you can see whether they're actually segmented, where they come at you in segments, not in like in the elite, in the last raid, they all just come at you in one great big heap. So you couldn't actually run. You just had to try and get into an area where you could just pick off a few at a time. So hopefully this raid actually has them segmented, that you can actually pick off a group at a time and use a bit of tactics to get to them. If they have it set as they did last time, where those all come at you, it's going to be very hard to be too specific about how you go at it. So we'll have to be a wait and see.
Yeah. All right. Well, I see. I guess we there's no mention of thermal range or sonar. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's no kind of mention about how good subs are going to be. I know me personally, I'm definitely going to try to use my Nighthawks as much as possible, but hopefully I don't have to resort to keeping them zombied. But if I have to, I have to. We'll see how it goes. So next is the Reaver Hades, and it says that's a heavy penetrative damage hull. Apparently they're doing different things with the Hades now because we've got remote targeting in the game. This is going to be the Reaver remote targeting hull apparently. There's probably going to be a lot of torrent missiles on here, and they're going to have like crazy long range. And really, the best way is going to be to survive against this thing, because I'm sure it's going to be buried deep. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff on the outside you're going to need to get to before you can get to the Hades. But whatever fleet you use, until that's gone, you're going to want to have high evade on there, because really that's going to be the only way you're going to be able to survive that Hades. It says its vulnerability is ballistic damage, and it just sounds to me, when I'm thinking ballistic damage and I'm thinking high evade, I'm thinking either Vindicators or Stingrays is what I'm thinking about right now. But there is, I know Dragonfly is a UAV that does ballistic damage, and it also debuffs the accuracy of whatever they hit too. So I don't know if anybody else has got any other ideas on how to potentially deal with the Reaver Hades.
Yeah, it's going to be where it's positioned in the fleet. If it's sitting up the back and it's got other stuff in front of it, as you said, you've got to get through all that other stuff to get to it first. So hopefully they have it up the back and you can pick the other front segments off. Then actually go at it with something like a ballistic. But the only gut chance.
I'm sure that they were in the last raid, those Reaver Hades. I'm sure they were, but I remember something like that plucking off at far range with the torrents, but I could be wrong.
Oh no, I think you're right. I remember the same thing.
And I think from what I remember, their bark, they hit hard, but they're not that tough to kill. From what I remember.
Right.
You're going to take a lot of damage just getting in close, but once you do get in close, you're going to kill it okay.
Yeah. All right. I see we did get a couple of new guys in here. I know you see Timothy is on here. Peter is on here. And Timothy, I guess your game name is Riff Raff. And then I see you Hayton Alliance. I see you, Hayton. Welcome to the Hangout. So hopefully all of you guys got working headsets and can contribute. Feel free to jump in at any time. If you have something that you feel like you need to offer, feel free to jump in. I guess right now I'm going to move on to the Sapper, the Reaver Sapper. And that's a new large hull, that Reaver hull that was added. We saw them last month. Apparently this guy here is going to be, it says heavy explosive damage and heavy radioactive damage, and this is going to be rockets primarily and not mortars for explosive. And there is mention of a new, like a Reaver rocket that has debuffs. It's going to have like a engine disruptor, like a disruptor effect. These new rockets will. So basically, once you start getting shot by them, you're not getting away. I mean, it's pretty much going to be like a spider in a web. You get caught in that web and you're done. So
that was a fairly fast fleet. That boat was fairly fast in the last raid in the elites. It was pretty quick. It came at you pretty quick. It was sort of overwhelming. And it was pretty tough. So we'll see if it's the same in this next one.
I see you, Hayton. He's actually on our our Hangout chat right there. You said you don't have a headset. If you're just going to do the chat, can you just do the YouTube chat? That way we can have somebody. Right now, I don't think we have any open spots left, and so you're just basically keeping somebody else who can come on here and speak and contribute. So if you don't mind just using the YouTube chat, I would appreciate it. Okay. Well, anyway, obviously this guy right here, it says its vulnerability is explosive damage. To me, that's pretty crazy, and I only say that because it's an explosive ship. I mean, the damage type that it does is explosive. I'm surprised that its vulnerability would be explosive. So really, the only thing I'm thinking with this guy, because you don't want to get in close, because once you get in close, you're screwed. And I would think that. Scarab UAVs, obviously, I keep going to UAVs, but I'm thinking range. And Scarab UAVs, they do explosive damage. So if you have those, I actually don't have those on anything, so it's really not an option for me. I'm going to have to figure out another way of dealing with them, or just use something and kill them slowly. We'll see how that goes. But I'm really kind of hoping my Nighthawks will do a lot of the work. But if there's thermal detection on everything, that's going to be really tough for me. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, this isn't going to be like a nightmare and Bill Gates type of raid, where basically you got to be him to be able to afford it. But we'll see. And I guess if nobody's got anything else to add, I'll just move on to the Hellhound. The Hellhound, it says it's another rocket type hull. And also does heavy radioactive damage. Its vulnerability is concussive damage, which would be subs or depth charges. There's no UAVs that do concussive damage, so I'm not going to use those as something to use against these. But it does mention the overload ability. They actually referred to it as like a berserker on Robot's thread, like a berserker type. A berserker feature. He mentions in there that they work as a team. So I'm guessing as one Hellhound takes damage, it can trigger all of them, or I'm sorry, not trigger all of them. But if you attack multiple Hellhounds at once, they begin to gain other attributes, special attributes, or buffs and debuffs, I guess.
It's like it's almost like its overload is like an area of effect to all the ships around it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be crazy, and it sounds like it's a hull that we're going to all want to have. Well, I mean, but we'll see.
Some way seems like it's going to work like the Crimson, because the effect on that one will make resonance on the other ones, and if more than one get the same effect at the same time, get overload, the benefits are bigger. They are not described yet, but we can expect something nasty from that. I guess it's going to be the new Hell Strike of this year.
Hold on, let's see here. I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out how to. I see Hayden hasn't left yet, and we got other people trying to join the chat, but the chat is full right now, so nobody else can join.
I tried to boot him, but it won't let me.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Oh, he's gone. All right, yep. Extreme, if you want to try coming in now, you can, as long as we have the open spots. And Extreme XC29, he also does like Battle Pirates podcast type stuff, and I definitely wouldn't mind having him on here. There he is. All right. Well, anyway, so just moving forward, I guess with my slides, the next thing that I did grab that screenshot of the Hellhound, and I tried to blow it up a little bit, just for a better look at it, just so everybody could see what it looks like. These Reaver hulls are generally made up of parts of Forsaken hulls and Drac hulls, but for the life of me, I have no clue what any parts of this thing has come from.
See, I thought I could see some Stingray in there. With the pyramid kind of the triangular front there leading before it hits the spike, but looking at that picture now, it doesn't look like that. I'm not sure at all.
Yeah, it's
a bit like a BC to me.
And the SAT the same. With the SAM, I have no idea to guess what they came from. But yes, look pretty nasty.
Well, I mean, of course it's ugly as crap, but isn't every Reaver hull? I mean, none of them are pretty at all. So, but yeah, I couldn't figure out any of the parts of this thing. None of them. But let's see. My next.
Is there 8 weapon slots you can see in that thing?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess we can kind of guess. Potentially, yeah, probably 8, because it looks like 3 maybe on each side, and then 1 in the front, and 1 in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the flamethrowers look like.
Yeah. It's loaded up with flamethrowers, so or they call it a magma throwers. So hopefully that means they're not like super heavy.
Hate flamethrowers. Stupid.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just trying to come out with more radioactive type weapons. So now we have the green ones, right? The D92s, and we got the blue ones, the cryos. So I guess they were trying to come out with something that with some heat. And so I'll just jump to my next slide real quick. Well, this one right here, I pretty much just copied and pasted the some of the text from the forums, and just basically saying that there was elite hulls, which is just supposed to be a different kind of versions of the Scout hull, Hades, and Sapper. Then they have the command hulls, and this part here kills me. With all of these tactical fields, they have the command Reaver Scouts that basically is going to boost speed to the other Reaver hulls. They have the Hulk, the command Hulk, that's going to do defense boosting. They have the command Hades that's going to do reload buffs for their other Reaver ships. And command Sapper, which is going to be another boat that's going to do combat speed and turn speed. And if they're anything like our tactical fields, that means they're going to stack and everything else. So, it's these right here are really going to make the event very, very difficult, even for the most expensive coiners, in my opinion.
Yeah, and don't forget the common Hades that has a splash, grants a splash to the missile. So imagine Torrens missiles with a splash. We better.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, this that's the Hades, right? It's going to get the splash on the missiles.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's going to suck. All right. The last slide that I have here is the road crew one, and with the road crews, he just mentioned the 4, but really there's a lot more road crews that you're going to be able to use. There's the common crews that basically you can acquire it using the 100 uranium rolls, and those can each. Did I say 2? I said 2 gold on here, but it's 3 gold, isn't it? It's 3 gold for an extension on the common crews. Yep. I must have mistyped there, and I just didn't catch it. And then the uncommon ones, is it still 15 gold to extend them?
Yep.
And there's a lot of crews that you can use. Basically, if you have any crews, I know a lot of people are complaining about having too many crews and not being able to select new ones, that kind of thing. Use them up. A lot of them are going to be good for something. You might want to look at the favored ships to figure out what you want to put them on. And I say that because obviously they have the standard buffs. All of these road crews have their standard buffs, like the Bullseye Brigade, for example, where basically you're not going to miss. You're going to have perfect accuracy. But if you put them on the missile cruisers, if you use this specifically with missile cruisers, it's going to give you rank buffs of 30%. So if your crew's currently at 25% rank bonuses, and that's turn speed and reload, this right here will add an additional 30%. And even if it's a 75%, if it's fully ranked Skull, legendary a missile cruiser, that's 75%. This will add another 30 to it, so it'll basically get your reload up to 105% and your turn speed up to 105%, and it adds sonar.
I'm afraid, but I think these are not the right ones. These are the ones from before, when the ranks were set to 25% on the level 5, and they gave you 5% more. Since the ships were getting 75%, what they give you now is a 50% more. So.
So you're saying I'm using old pictures? They've been redone?
Yeah, they were redone a while ago when they bring the ranks to 25.
Yeah, I did just pull these out of my stash. I didn't realize that any of them had been there'd been any changes to the road crews.
Yeah, for the favorite ships only, the ranks on reload that were set to 30% now are 50% over what they have. Actually, for example, you have your elite or legendary, for example, Kodiak at 75, you will get 90 out of that.
Well,
75
cool.
plus 15.
All right. Well, I don't know if anybody else has any kind of favorite road crews or anything like that you know might want to recommend, but now's the time.
Well, I just want to say, everybody, you can't just roll a crew and accept it. You know, you have to use crews that fit your fleets. You know, it's not something that, you know, all these crews aren't for every fleet, and you know,
Yeah.
you have to find ones that fit you. You know, don't keep ones. You know, what's the point of taking a slot if you're not going to use it? You know, I have some that I save. You know, but you gotta be picky. You know, when you do roll.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ben, because those that he suggested there, Robot, are mainly if you're using missiles, likely the Bullseye Brigade. The Bullseye Brigade is not going to help if you go with UAVs, for example. Or launchers.
I actually got to plug in my wire to my headset. They're getting low on batteries. Well, if anybody else on here have anything to add, or I mean, if you, because after this we'll just open it up.
Well, I seen this was a question referring to the raid from Nobby Lag. He wants to know thoughts on the flamethrower being stopped by the Frosty Field. I know this last raid, I didn't pay that much attention with my Frostburn, but I don't think it stopped the flamethrower, did it?
No, it doesn't stop the flamethrower, but the flamethrower, because it creates an area of effect, right? It has the little flame field, and as I understand, that flame field is supposed to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And
it extinguishes it.
Yeah, the cryo will extinguishes those fire fields.
Yeah, you'll take the first impact from it. You'll take the first impact damage, but you won't get that fire radiation field from it. It'll extinguish it quicker, so you'll get less damage from the fire. So the Frosty will probably be a great thing to start dragging around with everything that you use in it. So it'll probably be the most used boat in the raid.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the flamethrower will still fire at you. There's no stopping that. It's just the actual area of effect. Its secondary effect is the flame that it creates on the water. And I think sometimes, I don't know what the Reaver ones are, but our ones are like 100 radiation damage per second, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like some of them are 300, right? Isn't there like the fire fields are like 300 per second? I think the cryos are like 100 a second or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Frostburn is going to be good. It will not mitigate the damage from those beams of fire, but will mitigate the damage from the patch, and also will help a lot against those scouts. So if they die, they don't die on the top of your ships, because remember, at times they do more damage from the splash damage that you get when the engine creates that feeder patch on the top of your ships, rather than the damage that you can get from some ballistic, especially if you are using evade ships, like in the past we were using. And for those that don't have the Frostburn, I think that the engine disruptor in an RV or a Hurricane is going to be your best friend as well.
So that'll be a ship that you'll have to protect when you're hitting some of this stuff, is try and keep it out of its direct fire, make that last along, because it'll be probably your most benefit with any other part of your fleet.
Or well protect, or well make it become your shield. So the ships behind, like the Mastodons and alike, if you put on, for example, in any of those a Cutlass 1 and you add a strike system to them, you can have something that can help your Mastodons behind shot at those ships that are coming your way and that are getting slowed by the field of effect of those engineer bites.
All right. Well, I guess if anybody's got any other raid topics, anybody else on here want to discuss? Peter or 101 or?
Well, it sounds like it's going to be hard as hell, to be honest.
Yeah.
Lost everyone fortune.
I'm sure people will be fussing on Thursday and trying to probably rage quit and all that on Thursday or Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if there's the ability to, we've had the ability to team up. And you know,
yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
we're looking at these reavers and we're saying, right, this one is hurt by penetrate damage and this one's hurt by ballistic. But what if two people teamed up and one went in with a ballistic fleet and one went in with a penetrate fleet, and you know what I mean? And you work together as a team, stacking together and moving together. You might find that, you know, working as a team, this raid could actually be quite easy.
Yeah, is it going to get big co-op? That's what I don't know. Because this style, I don't think with a fleet is not normally co-op, is it? So I don't know whether it's going to be this one.
Robert said that it was going to be co-op, so you can expect to cooperate inside.
Yep. Cool.
If it's co-op, then you might have one person going with some slow effect type fleet and have another person come with atlases and shoot them from a distance and pick them off that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the whole thing's going to depend on how these things drive at you and whether they come at you all at once, or as I said, they're segmented up into 2 or 3 coming at you at once, so you could select and move away from them. I think that's going to be the big challenge in the game, so it'll be a wait and see, I think.
Yeah, we will have to see how it works, how much thermal range they have, because you use the subs, or if you cooperate, if one goes ahead and becomes the mid shield, if the other one can go with torpedoes, for example, and kill those famous hellhounds that it's said to be weak against the torpedoes and stuff like that. So it's going to be one of those raids in which one makes mid shield, the other one makes points on beaten back, and then you swap roles in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know yet if you are going to get any bonus, or if they are going to be likely 4 or 5 stages, and then you get extra points or something like that. So if something like that, well, if you come to my base, I make the mid shield and you make the points. If I go to yours, you make the mid shield, I make the points, and the other, and we compensate with the bonus we get, for example, to say something. But hard to say till we don't see the event.
Does anyone have
I hope the video comes out soon.
Does anyone have any speculation on the hull? No? Any speculation on the prizes, or?
Well, we know the Hellhound is the main ship prize, right? And the Magma Thrower is the weapon prize.
No,
About?
I mean, like, it's like stats and if it's going to be a good baser, and I mean, I think it's obviously going to be a pretty good baser by the looks of it, but
I bet it starts off with 50% radioactive defense and 30% everything else, and it'll be another one of those. It'll be like the. Has anyone here gotten hit by an R10 Hellstrike with S launchers, skull ranked?
not yet.
That's you can't stop it. It's going to be interesting.
What, S cryo?
It'll be better than that.
S cryo or S normal? The green ones or the blue ones?
Was it D104S?
Oh, it was the
304N.
the S.
Mm-hmm.
The original, what everybody runs on their Jug X's.
D92S.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I was saying to Jeff before. I said, with the rankings up to R10 and everything of these fleets that are coming out now, they're making them pretty strong. So if you get something in a raid, which supposedly has to be better than what you currently got, that ship has to be pretty nasty to beat some of these ranked fleets that are coming out at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how powerful this thing actually is. So it'll be interesting to see the specs on it.
I think you'd expect it to be more powerful than an R5 Burke. Otherwise, no one's going to build it, are they?
Yep.
So I would expect it to be more powerful than an R5 Burke for sure.
I'm curious to see how the weapon.
Oh,
Go ahead, Wayne.
I was
Sorry?
going to say the thing I'm more interested in is what build time they're going to put on it.
I don't even want to think about that.
I want to be able to
days.
sleep at night.
10
The
days.
current way they're going, 10 days on the
As a
I-
non-coiner,
I
don't
think
coin
that
my
you
builds.
guys are a bit optimistic with just 10 days. Remember that it's not 11 days that has the Berserk, that has an overload effect as well. I think that we can count something like that. 11, 12, just a whole. But it's guessing here.
Don't give them ideas. 9 days.
The thing with these with these ships is, to stay. And Liam, you're right. We're going to expect an R5 Berserker or better, but the problem is saying we're sitting here saying that, and it's like, you know, 96% of the people that are in the game don't even have, like, I have one R5 or level 5 turret right now. I mean, it's crazy to think about that. They just kind of threw that on us, I feel like, and I'm still like, I mean, I don't know when I'm going to catch up. I have one level 5 turret, and I'm like 11 or 13 days away from my Wendigo. So it's just crazy that to think that they're going to release holes that are that powerful, and just, you know, it's like when they first released the Hellstrike, you know.
I remember.
Yeah, and if you remember, the only counter so far we have in game for those flames is or the Cryo or the radioactive suppressor, that field of effect that you can put on the buildings that extinguish flames. So, and it takes 4 days to build one, so it was going to take a while to get the base prepared for those.
Yeah, I mean, we don't
That's
even,
the idea.
and we don't even know if this hole, it perhaps enhances the magma thrower itself. Like maybe it gives it a longer range or a faster reload. I mean, obviously the Hellstrike's a Reaver rocket ship and the Berserker's a Reaver mortar ship. So this one is going to be a Reaver radioactive ship. So I imagine it's going to have some kind of radioactive buffs on it to buff radioactive weapons.
Yeah, but the way that is presented to us in the raid doesn't give any tips, because if you see, it says explosive, high explosive damage, and we were expecting radioactive being the flamethrower or magna thrower, the weapon that is designed to go with it. So yes, no idea, but well, we know it's going to be a 1.5 repair ship that is going to take longer to repair, but you can expect higher stats on that, because that's the compensation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the perhaps the magma thrower won't just be 100% radioactive damage. I would like to think that it might have a couple of like mixed damage on it, but I guess we're just speculating. But
something like the Chaos mortar.
Well, maybe it deals, you know, such and such radioactive damage and such explosive damage, or you know, maybe it has two different stats on it as opposed to just one stat.
Like Frostburn does. Frostburn's got radioactive buffs and missile buffs, doesn't it?
It's got to be compatible with CMH.
One thing I don't want to see what's going on in the game at the moment is that because of the long building these things, if you're a mega coiner, you'll have these built instantly and get some function out of it. Where we sharks, we'll start build on these and probably coin some of it, but by the time you get to that last boat, they'll retrofit, say, your Zerks or something, which will be better than them. So I'll blow money, uranium on building these things and have them superseded by them retrofitting Zerks or some other fleet and making them better. And I'm seeing that starting to happen in the game a lot, where you'll if you don't coin these things straight away and get them out there, these retrofits are superseding other ships in your base. So
well, that's why.
William, can you roll me one of those?
That's why I made a comment about the build time. As I don't coin builds, by the time I get to the next raid, there'll be a new hull.
No, they've got that way now. They've got to a point they're overshooting themselves now. People aren't getting things built before a better ship comes out again, or they're retrofitting ships to make them better than the one you just won in the raid. So it's becoming this vicious circle where you'll never, unless you're a uber coiner, have the latest and greatest.
The thing is,
sorry,
the way the game is now, I think that it's actually better not to coin it instantly. There's a shelf life of a hull, and it's normally about a month the way kicks I go, but in that first week, I always find that the hull's either going to get some kind of patch, or there's going to be something released next week in the weeklies, or there's going to be something released that counters it very quickly. So I always find it's better to wait a couple of weeks anyway, and while you're waiting, take a look around at everyone else, and because no one ever gets a fleet right first time, so let everyone else coin it and waste their money, and then you can see where they went wrong and build yours right, you know?
Yeah, but
and if I could add something to that, Liam, what you just said. Also, sometimes it's good to actually build a hull with no weapons on.
Yeah, enough just dry holes. Yeah.
Yeah, because quite often, especially if you don't coin, 2 weeks down the track or a week down the track in the mini race, they add a special or something that would actually work, and then you have to refit.
Yeah, but you guys are forgetting that they already released the prices for this month in the Forsaken mission. You got the chain guns and you got those 2 new panels for your turrets. So you have to wait till next month for that to happen.
Hey, I see Joe Aderson. The only reason I'm calling him out because I'm looking at his profile picture down here in the chat, and it's got the unofficial Blogspot, VP Information Blogspot. Are you affiliated with them, Joe?
Joe, I think Joe's microphone's muted.
Joe's muted.
Oh,
Yep,
he
There
just
he goes.
left.
Oh, he probably was. You called him out.
Bryce, we told you, get easy with that, and you scared them.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to see what he knew. Maybe he was with the. If he was affiliated with them, I was just curious if he had something he could add. Maybe he knows something. That particular site does seem. I don't know if anybody is keeping track, but they released. That Retrofit Pack 14. They had that information like last month was on their Blogspot. So they've got some kind of inside connections. It's better than the inside connections that I got because, and they knew that stuff way before me.
You know the raid a couple of months back as well. See, another thing, the retrofit pack's coming. I think it's going to come the week after the raid, and I don't want to. You know that raid where the retrofit for the jug come out on the Monday after the raid, and then no one really built the raid fleet. Everyone just built jugs.
Yep.
Because they were amazing, and I'm wondering if maybe we might see something like that with like the SCX or the Missile Cruiser X. I don't know what kind of buff they'll get, but perhaps they could just be epic overnight.
Yeah, and it makes the average player nervous. Am I going to spend coin to build stuff when they do these things with the retrofits? It's making people nervous about jumping into things too quick and doing stuff. I'm not nervous. I don't build anything now. I just sit and wait, as you said, for a week to see what happens because Kickstarter got me that jumpy that they're going to make some severe changes to some of these other ships that will just be what's there actually in the raid. So it's coming self-defeative in doing some of these raids. I'd rather just sit back and wait.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a dangerous game if building a fleet because you're just taking a stab in the dark, and you could either be blowing your money. Well, either way, you're blowing your money, but it just depends how badly it's going to hurt you. I mean, my Kodiaks, I refitted my Kodiaks about 7 times before I settled on a build, and the last refit was only 2 weeks ago. So.
Okay.
Well, and I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm pretty freaking tired of, I know the raid was a month ago, but it just don't seem like it, man. I don't know. It's pretty frustrating to, I guess because I did put more seat time in than I normally do because it was, I got, a lot of different of the limited holes again, but I don't know. I got so much to build from that, and it's just like, I'm sitting there thinking they're probably going to release something better than all the stuff, the Grim, because I got another Grim and another Highlander and I got all these holes to go with my fleets, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, but at this time there is no hull and limited hull all in the same raid. So, since that we only have to win 2 prizes so far, which is better than having to win those limited hulls that you have to win one by one to make a full fleet. Likely the Harlock, for example, that will keep us sitting here longer and longer.
I think the big question will be how much will this fleet cost? How many points will you have to get? Which is going to be probably the biggest question to get it. So is it going to be a 40 million pop?
Does anyone remember the days when all we ever had to do was a raid once a month?
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Every other month.
There was no ally points. There was no Let It Burn campaign every week. There was no weeklies every week. There was just a raid once a month.
And do you remember when the raids were not even once a month, were once each 3 months or something like that?
Every 3 months. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was sitting there the other day grinding out these dredges, and I'm just sitting there going, this has turned into a bloody job. Just trying to keep up with dredges and getting uraniums, turning into a job. The fun's going out of the game. Hitting people and doing stuff. I've got to spend most of my time doing these bloody dredges to keep up with people who have got the coins and everything else to do it. This is driving me crazy. Like the percentage of the game of having fun compared to it being a task is starting to get a big gap between it.
Sometimes the key is between you go making components, start retrofitting a hull. It takes longer. For example, now I did my Reapers, and the last 2 stages of the Reaper 9 and 10 takes you 6 days and 9 days. So I have been 15 days just collecting from the Reapers, but I didn't get a chance at all to do anything at all. besides that, because I couldn't spend any uranium but collecting new row crews that I was needing. So I am full, and I will have to coin if I want to do this raid, unless I want just the row crew.
Well,
So
there's something there too. There's something too on that too. I'm full of my uranium as well right now, and they just come out with another campaign, and I'm wondering if that's not a warning of something that's coming up. They throw in 3 campaigns at us so quickly. I mean, it's great that we have uranium, but why are they throwing so much uranium?
Because they've got so much content out there now that to retrofit, it's just crazy. So.
I'm always broke on uranium, and I don't do components. I just do holes. But I think it's because I was so far behind from last year. But I'm still catching up, and I'm just doing holes. I haven't done any components, and I'm broke all the time. I don't know how you guys are managing to stay full.
I've had an idea for base.
I'm with you, Liam.
Yeah, mine won't be full for long, but yeah, I'm just wondering why suddenly throwing so much at us.
Mm. Well, I think partly it's probably to do with everything getting so much more expensive, especially in terms of uranium. You know, with R10s coming out now as well, and you've seen the cost of Burke R5s. Probably they're just trying to throw us a bone. You know, I don't know. I'm grateful for it. I wish that it was a little bit easier to collect it, but I'm grateful for that 50k a week. It's needed for me, but you know.
No, yeah, it's great to get it. It makes a huge difference between that and doing your fortnightly mission. There's like 50, 60, 70 out of that. That's 80 out of that. Just doing those 2, which is good. But there's so much content in it to do now. It's just you need way more than that. You spit through 200. The only thing that usually does save you is if you're doing hulls and where you got those 5 and 7 day retrofits, which gives you that bit of break. Some of the smaller stuff with the 1 a day, 1-2 days. Once you start doing that, you're just out tuning all the time trying to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to break it up with doing your hulls, don't you? Yeah, I think the only way you get some sanity is do a hull in amongst that to give you the 5-day break from just churning stuff over.
We got about 7 minutes left on the show. I wanted to just, if I could, there's like a couple of guys that haven't really been able to contribute at all, and I know one-on-one. I know you left us for a minute, and now you're back. Was there anything that you wanted to discuss specifically on the show today?
No, I think I was in misunderstanding. We're going to discuss other things, but if you want me to jump off, I can. I had a little PC crash here that made me go there for a little while.
No, I mean we always try to have like an open part of the show, just like an open mic type of thing. So yeah, if you had something else that you wanted to talk about, I mean we can make time for you real quick.
No, I'll go ahead. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and drop off in case somebody else wants. Since we're getting down low on time, somebody else might want to jump in and say. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off.
All right, Matthew, did you have anything that you wanted to discuss?
The only other thing I wanted to discuss on the raid was. I've noticed the Reavers as of late have had a lot of plate armor. Did they mention anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Like I've seen that high salvo weapons don't seem to do much to a lot of the new Reavers.
Are you talking about the ones that come out on Tuesdays and Fridays? The dredges?
Well, the dredges and I guess the elite from the last raid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hadn't noticed.
Well, I remember in the last raid, I hit the elite once, and I took my launchers, my nuclear cruiser fleet in there, and it didn't do nothing. I mean, you couldn't even see the health bar moving down. It had so much radioactive defense on it.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing that as well. Some of them seem to have ridiculous resistances. I mean, you think if one boom triggers 7,500 damage, then how much defense must that hull have for it to just not even move on its health bar?
Well, it's, radioactive. Doesn't radioactive defense go against that boom too? So if they had like 50% radioactive defense, that would come off of that boom, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would drop it to 3.75. You know,
so it could just have just crazy radioactive defense too, and not necessarily a crap ton of armor. It could be like maybe 90% or 80%.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
We'll see Joe's back into Jeff from Blogspot.
Yeah, hey Joe, welcome back. I don't know if you're working or not. I didn't know if you were actually affiliated with the Blogspot, VP Information Blogspot. Just wanted to see if you had anything to add.
Just,
It's muted.
it's
he's
like
currently muted.
he got off so fast last time. It was like you calling him out for being on the FBI's Most Wanted or something.
Hey, not talking.
All right. Extreme, is this one of your first roundtables with us, isn't it? Have you ever been on one of our roundtables before?
No, it's the first time being able to get on.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely glad that you made it this time. For those people that don't know, he actually does his own little Battle Pirate podcast, and you're streaming now too, right?
I was, and then one of my viewers told me you guys were gone. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to do this at the same time. I'll stop it and go watch you guys and bring it back up later.
Oh, okay. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
I didn't want to compete or anything or take away or.
Oh,
all my viewers are watching you guys anyways. I just do mine at random times whenever I got time to do them. So.
All right. I think we got somebody back feeding again. I'm not quite sure who it is. I don't know if anybody has got like the YouTube video actually playing audio, but we're definitely hearing somebody. But Peter, I think, stepped away. Oh, he says back. Peter, did you have anything that you wanted to discuss on the show? We still got about 3 minutes left. We can go over a little bit if you had something that you wanted to discuss.
Just to say, I agree with what Ben was saying about the raids happening too quick. Only seems like 2 weeks since the last one, with the holidays in the way.
Yeah, well, I know they're killing me with the Forsaken Arena now too. So now we're going the wrong direction instead of going from one event every couple of months that we would like to have. Right, we're up to 2 events a month now.
Yeah, it's getting silly. And
yeah.
Also agree what Taipan said about you do dredges, you do the weekly missions, and then you've got to try and get some alliance points, and you don't get any time to go and have any fun.
3 events if you want to do identified fleets.
Yeah, and they always use the same thing as well. You don't have to do them. You do bloody have to do them. If you don't start doing them, you can't keep up with what's going on in the game. So when they say, oh, well, you don't have to do them, you can be selective. I think it's getting to a point where you can't be selective. You don't start doing a lot of this stuff and keep up with it. You start falling so far behind because this game is moving so fast. If you don't keep running, you're going to trip over on your face pretty quick.
Yep, agree.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and just, I know there's a lot of people who will say, well, you don't have to have everything. But truth be told, I mean, like what you're just saying, you do kind of have to have everything because, if they're coming out with so much content, nobody wants to get behind. We end up running into stuff like, if for example, there might be something in the Forsaken missions that we're trying to get, but it's like when they add more stuff, like they added all that new content this week. I had the cryo turret I still haven't gotten, and but they turn around and they added the 3 new prizes. So now I've got, instead of having a 100% chance of getting that cryo turret, now I'm on 1 in 4, and I haven't missed any events. And it just definitely makes me wonder. I know they took the D5E out, so it's like if you didn't get the D5E, well, you're not getting it now. So until they put it back in, but yeah, it's all about just getting behind. So now, I did have all the blueprints, but now they got that cryo depth charge from the Forsaken Arena. I mean, just when they're putting out these unique prizes, you don't want to be the guy without, you want to be able to have all these options, and it just sucks not having the option, in my opinion.
I did have a thought with the new weapon they're releasing. If it's radioactive, I wonder how it's going to work for base defense on an Enforcer.
Depending on its range.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Enforcer gives radioactive weapons a range bonus, so I mean, it might work against the new ship.
We'll put that into the wait and see the specs because that we'll have to have a look at where it is, because we might find out it is more superior than the cryo turret. But the main thing that the Enforcer's got over any other boat is its range. So if this weapon doesn't go with the Enforcer's range, well, it'll become nullified. So.
Yeah.
And if the magma thrower is a radioactive weapon, then let's say you lead your Hellhound fleet with a Highlander nuke cruiser, you've instantly got 50% reload buff on your magma thrower, on all those ships. So.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll be waiting for Jeff's spec sheet on it, so have a look at the DPS compared to other things when it does come out. So I think Jeff will do that as soon as it comes out. We'll see the DPS on it. And see whether it goes on that type of fleet. As Jeff said before, we don't know whether it's a fleet for fleet type hull or what at the moment. So
yeah, and I think that really all depends. I mean, in my opinion, the first thing that I look at on a hull to determine a brand new hull is the armor points and try to see what the armor potential is of a hull. If the armor potential for me is like 12,000 or better, then I think it has base hitting potential. You know, but that's just me.
And one thing for new people, when the raid's on, just because their fleets of boats good doesn't mean we're going to get the same specs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always have better tech than us.
Yep.
But as we know with the new Hellhand that it looks like it has 8 weapon slots, so we'll just have to wait and see what its armor slots are. Then it'll tell us whether it's good for base hitting or whether it's more of a fleet for fleet type thing.
Yeah. Well, I think and that kind of wraps us up. We're at the hour mark right now, and so I'm probably going to go ahead and kill this show. I would like to thank everybody for hopping on here today. We did ended up with a full house here a few times, with all 10 slots filled, and we've had a bit of a churn there, some rotation. But so I know not everybody had the opportunity on here to contribute in chat, but we will be getting ready to end this show, and afterwards, as the spots clear up, I mean, if y'all want to get on here and chat and use the Hangout, once the stream is over, it's fine. I don't know who all's going to stay on here and who's going to be leaving, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for watching. For the folks that are interested in seeing more about Battle Vortex, our group page on Facebook is bp.battlevortex.tv. Feel free to join. If you want to subscribe to my videos here, you'll see my Twitch streams as I upload them. And then, I mean, if you actually ever want to watch those live, you'll actually have to watch it on twitch.tv. I generally tend to archive and then upload to YouTube afterwards. But anyway, thanks again for coming, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody in the chat, and y'all have a good day.